Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today, let me take my glasses off. Today I'm doing a video and it's all about hair, okay? It's nothing about cooking. And the reason I'm doing this video is because I often get questions about my locks. The number one question I get is, oh, how long have you been locked? And what sparked me, I actually have been meaning to do this video for some time because I always get questions about my hair. But in particular, I had to go to the doctor for a primary appointment, right? So I go to the doctor and they order me lab work. So I have to go downstairs to the lab. And so you got a whole nother team of lab people, you know, drawing blood, whatever. So I go to get my flu shot and get my blood drawn. So when I walk into the lab, there's about maybe 4 or 5 ladies that swarm me, and they are, you know, looking at my hair. One thing that I do appreciate, nobody like literally just touched my hair, but they were asking me questions. And so I was like, dag, I need to really go ahead and do this hair video. Because what was amazing to me when I walked into that setting, there were quite a few of that, maybe that 5 or 6 ladies, I would say about 5 or 6 ladies, 4 of them had locks. And you could tell like 2 of them had just started their lock journeys, and the other 2 were like, had maybe, you know, the hair came to about right here. And what I was telling one of the young ladies, and she had it in like 2 ponytails, I was like, oh, you know, I really missed that length. You know, I did so many like updos with my hair, and I had like I would always roll my hair, and I'm going to insert clips on this video, but I would roll my hair and do like little cute styles because it was so easy to do. My hair dried very quickly. I just didn't have a lot of fuss. And like now I really don't have a lot of fuss, but like my drying times are longer because my hair is much longer. And just certain styles that I used to love to be able to rock, I can't do that right now. So this video, I kept thinking, how am I going to do this hair video? Like, I don't have physical pictures of my journey. And of course, God just laid it upon my heart. Girl, go to your social media. I literally started my hair journey on social media. And I went back through those pictures, you guys. And when I tell you, it was so many pictures of where I progressed with my hair. One of the reasons I wanted to actually do this this video is because of the fact that my natural hair journey did not start immediately with locks. I had been permed since I was a little girl. I actually had a jherri curl when I was in middle school, like maybe 6th grade. I want to say my mom pressed and combed my hair for quite some time until I got till about the 6th grade, and the jherri curl was the big thing, and I wanted a jherri curl. Do you hear me? I was so excited about getting a jherri curl because I wanted to have, you know, my curly hair induced by you know, chemicals. So my mom let me, you know, I was able to get a jherri curl. And one thing about my hair is it has always been very, very thick and very, very coarse. So when I got my jherri curl, like my jherri curl would last a little while, but the fullness of my hair, like literally I have a picture of me, and it's at my mom's house. I don't have that picture to insert in. I may go by there and take a picture of it and insert it in. But that picture of me with my jherri curl, it looked like an afro almost because my hair was so thick. And I always sweat heavy in my hair. So once I went from the jherri curl, I went into a regular lie perm because I was told by my beautician that a lie perm was what my hair needed. And when I tell you, I can remember vividly suffering from the time I started perming my hair with a lie perm until I went to college. It was until I went to college. And literally, don't get me wrong. And I may put some pictures of me with the perm, and I wore weaves as well. But don't get me wrong, I used to wear rock styles that I adored. But the process to get to where I was, my scalp was so sensitive. And at that time, I just was not aware of how the perms were a direct effect to why I was having so many scalp issues. So once I decided to go from at one point, I remember one day I was going to get my hair done, and I was in the chair, and my hair, I immediately started burning. And I literally took the burn because I knew my hair would not straighten unless, you know, it was processed. And I told the beautician, you know, like, hey, my hair is really on fire, but I'm gonna try to take it. And she was like, take it, girl, because your hair, you need to, you know, let it sit. And from that moment, after, you know, the relief of washing everything out, maybe about, I'll say about 4 to 5 days later, my hair was full of scabs from where the chemical had burned my scalp. And I've always had sensitive skin, very sensitive skin. I really don't do well with strong scents or smells, especially when it comes to putting it on my body. But this particular time, when those scabs, I was in so much pain, like literally. I suffered, and I think back now, like I really suffered years getting perms in silence because I just did not know just the direct correlation to perming and what I was experiencing. So when I finally went off to college, I actually went and consulted a dermatologist, and they did biopsy on my scalp. I got a lot of information from my doctor, and my doctor, who was this white lady, she was just so sweet to me. She said, listen, those live perms are just really wreaking havoc on your scalp, and it is trickling down to your skin and whatnot. So at that point, I said, you know, I'm just going to stop getting a perm altogether. And my reason for going natural was because I was suffering when I got perms. And she said, and even I talked to my doctor at that time, I was like, what about those little kitty perms? Or she was like, listen, if it says it has lye in it or some type of that in there, you cannot, don't put that on your scalp. It's just not worth it. So I actually went, I didn't go completely natural. I stopped using lye perms, and then I started using no lye perms. And I started doing my own hair at this point. And I had just started college. And I would notice that the time frames that I didn't perm my hair, my scalp, my skin, it was like it would breathe. It would just breathe. I would have such a good time with my hair. And then I would perm it, and then I would get this funky breakout. Things just weren't, it just wasn't good. And so from there, I went and I said, forget it. I'm not going to put anything else in my hair. I don't care what my hair look like. It is what it is. So in the time of college, I went completely natural. And I was doing really good. I wore my little fros and things like that. And then once I graduated college, I started experimenting back with weaves. So I would do like braids and sew-ins. I would do quick weaves on top of my natural hair. And eventually I phased into perming my hair again. I know. So I got into the workforce. I started working for a news station, and I really, you know, I just started perming my hair again. And I went back to having those scalp issues and suffering again. But at this point, I'm like, I gotta hold myself accountable. I can't do this. So I worked for News for 5 years. I got out of there, started working for a state agency. And from there, I met a beautiful group of young Black women. We were all about the same age. And one in particular that I met, and I know to this day, I hope she don't mind me saying her name. I'll say her first name, Christy. She had sister locks, and they were so beautiful. They were, you know, tiny sister locks, and I fell in love with her hair. And she would like do different styles with them and all that other good stuff. And so that was my first like real look at locks in a way that I admired them. Okay. So then from there, I stopped perming my hair, and me and this sister circle in the job, we all went natural together. It was about 3 of us. I'll say 2 or 3 of us. And I was so excited. And I met another young lady on the job. And she had locks, and her locks were really long. Okay. And so I was like, oh, I really like her locks. But I still, at that point, was not really, you know, really into locks. You know, I liked them, but I didn't know if I wanted them for myself. I'll just say it like that. So at that point, and I'm gonna start inserting pictures right here, because me and these young ladies, when I tell y'all, we had a good time transitioning. I was not in any pain anymore. It was like a breath of fresh air. You know, when they tell you when a woman cuts her hair, you know she finna do something big. When I tell you, I cannot describe to you how liberated I felt when I cut my hair this time around. That time when I actually went natural. I wasn't teeter-tottering with a kitty perm or a no-lie perm. I actually just cut my hair off, and I was like, listen, God, this is what it's going to, I just had to cut it. I felt so liberated. I felt so free. I felt so wonderful. It was just so hard to describe in how refreshing it was. I wasn't weighed down by my hair. I could take a shower and let the water just run through my scalp. Like, it was a beautiful thing. And when I tell you, I cherish that, because that was a moment for me that let me as a woman know I was not defined by my hair. I really loved it. So by this time, I cut my hair off, and we're growing naturally. And so I noticed, like some of my sister circles that was on the job, their natural hair, different textures, different things. So I consulted with a friend of mine who had her own hair company at that time. And I started, you know, really at that point experimenting with natural products, using raw shea butters, olive oils, coconut oils, and really figuring out, you know, what worked good for me and my skin, and what my body responded to well. So by this time, I'm just having a good time experimenting. I even came up with Margaret's body butters. I started making my own shea butter mixes, and I just really had a really good time. Okay, so now I start like noticing, okay, my hair is a 4C texture, really tight ringlets, but really thick. Really, my hair is really thick, really dense. And so I found myself like every single night having to either plait my hair, braid my hair, twist my hair. I mean, something for the next day when I woke up to be able to go out my door and be comfortable in how my hair looked. And yes, everybody has their own interpretation of what they want themselves to look like, what they want their hair to look like. And I get it. But for me, you know, especially working in a professional setting, I already knew, you know, certain stigmas you get, you know, and so I wanted to make sure that I felt comfortable when I wake up. So at night, I would always find myself like, oh my God, I got to the point where if I had to work late or something. By that time, it was an issue from, you know, me. Now I got to stay up even later to plait my hair because I know it's going to be looking rough in the morning if I didn't. So by this time, I'm just like, Lord, I need to find something that I can do to my hair that will last me at least 2 or 3 days. And not having to replait my hair every single night or retwist my hair every single night. And so I started praying about it, like, you know, Lord, what can I do to my hair that I feel comfortable with doing? And that's when I started looking at lock styles. I started looking at, you know, really paying attention to my coworker who had the sister locks and how she would like use those lock tools to make the curls and, you know, just different styles that inspire me like, okay, you know, there is a versatile aspect with locks because all I heard was, you know, if you locked in, you know what I'm saying? And you hear me saying locks because I don't call my hair dreadlocks. I really don't like that terminology. I don't mind it if somebody say, oh, you got nice dreadlocks. But there's nothing that I dread about my hair. So I just don't use that terminology. So I just started really toiling with that idea. And there was a family member of mine that I really valued her opinion. And we were sitting down talking about hair. And I was telling her, you know, how I was stressing and about my hair. And she just said, why don't you lock it? I believe you would have beautiful locks. And I was like, you know, I really been toiling with the idea of locking my hair, honestly. And she was like, you should do it. You should really do it. And it was in that instance, you know, I was already toiling, but it just took that extra nudge by somebody who I really valued their opinion to, you know, light the fire, and the match was struck by that point. So then I started thinking about, okay, I got to go to work. Y'all, and I'll talk about this whole work issue. I'm like, how can I be professional? You know, when my hair was short, how can I lock it? I really wasn't educated, honestly, on how I can lock my hair in a way that I felt comfortable doing it. And I ended up meeting someone. I had actually went I was with the YMCA, and I went swimming this particular day. And there was a lady at the pool, I'll never forget. Y'all, please bear with me. She was at the pool, she was swimming, and she had locks. And I was like, oh, your locks are so beautiful. And she said to me, and I told her in that same breath, I said, I really want to lock my hair. And I told her, I just don't know about, you know, how professional it would be, you know, if I go to work with the little twist, you know, in my hair. And she said, well, you don't have to go through that. Here's someone I know that can help you. And she gave me this young lady's name, Tanya's name. I won't give her last name. And I called her up, and she was like, oh yeah, I definitely can lock starting with twists. So I went and she actually, you know how you put the twist extensions, like you're doing like twist with weave. She put twists in my hair, and that's how I started my locks. So the process worked for me is when they put the weave on your hair. So like, you know, my hair was it was about this long, and I'll have some pictures inserted here. She put the twists in my hair, and as my natural hair grew, she would palm roll it, and she would clip the ends of the weave as my hair grew out. So I went through this transition that people really didn't know I was transitioning. So it came to a point where I literally had like this much weave on my hair, and my hair had kind of grew out like this long, and I'll show you pictures there. And she was like, girl, snatch that weave off the end of your hair. Your hair is long enough now. You should be able to style it and be comfortable. You shouldn't have any problems. And so I was like, okay, and I don't know why I toiled with that for so long. I should not have, but it was just all based upon my own insecurity. So I ended up, and I want to say one of my coworkers actually helped me just take out the weave off the end, and literally it was about that much, because my hair had grew out so, and she just cut the weave as my hair grew. So from there, I was so ecstatic when I took the weave off, because I had my hair. I was dealing with my hair. And from there, I went crazy, y'all. I'm gonna be serious. I went crazy. I rolled my hair. I plaited my hair. I had a really, and I still have a really good time with my locks. And you know, it's just amazing how you can go to social media, pictures over the years that I have, that I just really enjoy the stages of, you know, having the short bob and curling. I loved curls, okay? And you can see those in the pictures, whether they were ringlets, whether they were roller rods or rods. I just love curling my locks. And so now one of the easiest things for me to do is just plait it. But now I do have, and at that point I stopped going to get my hair done, because I knew, I picked up perm rolling really easy. I was able to style my own hair. And so I started doing that to save money. And now that my hair has gotten this long, I've gotten a hairstylist or a beautician who takes care of my locks. So I do wash my hair in the interim, because I go get my hair done maybe once a month or once every other month. I am not a habitual twister. I have never been, because I am all about protecting, as you can see, my roots and my crown. I never wanted to have thinning, and so of my edges or anything. And I noticed that in my journey of ladies that I've watched, even on YouTube and different things, how over twisting can damage your hair. When I finally got more versed in healthy hair maintenance and care, I ended up being diagnosed when I turned 36 with psoriasis. And so I was so terrified of that, because psoriasis can I literally broke out all over my body. And I had patches in my hair. But what I have found is now I take injections, which I'm not scared or timid to say. I take Humira injections to keep my psoriasis at bay. But one of the things that I do in order to maintain a healthy scalp is drink plenty of water. And a lot of people ask me, how do you keep your hair? I really related to being hydrated. I can tell, like, in the life cycles of my locks of when I haven't really been drinking enough water. It's so weird, but I really can tell. Like, especially back here, I have some short locks. My locks are definitely not perfect. Like this one right here, you see this is a fatty. And this was a point where actually this lock was long and I just cut it because of the fact that I wasn't like taking care of the nape of my neck like I should have. And so I just cut it, and I just really attribute a lot of healthiness to my locks is limited. I don't put a lot of products on my hair at all. I wash my hair with a see-through shampoo. I don't use conditioners. Every now and then, maybe once every 3 months or so, I may do myself a hot oil treatment. But I do drink a lot of water, and it helps me with my psoriasis. It's like lubricating your body from the inside out, you see? And I don't drink sodas. I am a plus size lady, don't get me wrong, and I'm a foodie. As you can see on this channel, I am a foodie, but I also do have some healthy hair. I do drink a lot of water, limit juice, I don't drink sodas, period. But I think that just contributes to healthy hair. At one point in time, I was on a real, let me tell you this. Let me back up. Let me just say something real quick. I started YouTube back in like 07. I did start YouTube back in 07. At that time, it was supposed to be a health journey, health channel. And I started, I read the book Optimal Health, and I started this program. I can't think of the name of the program, but it came with like bars and shakes and things. And I lost like 70 pounds on this program. And so that was the whole point of me starting YouTube. But that was not sustainable for me. I just didn't do well. I didn't keep that program up. I didn't keep paying for those, because I think it was like, I was paying like $300 to $400 a kit, and the kit would last like a month. So it was like $300 or $400 a month for the kit, and it just was something that I wasn't willing to sustain. So I stopped doing that, and then from there, you know, it just, you know, my journey kind of took a different path. And then, you know, being married, raising children, trying to be in the workforce. And one thing that I pride myself on, it was an article that was released not too long ago, if you guys can remember, about women in locks and not being professional in the workforce. And one thing I love to do is do away with that myth right there. Locks are professional. They can be professional. Another thing that, you know, people always say, did you have to go so long without washing your hair? I always washed my hair. That's not something I'm willing to compromise. I'm not willing to compromise my cleanliness for a style. So I always have washed my locks. There wasn't a time that I went through and I did not wash my hair. Also, being clean, and, you know, just things like that. People come up with all kind of stuff. You know, if I was Rastafarian or anything like that. But I'm gonna tell you what I did do. I prayed. I asked God to show me really how to handle my hair, and he did. And he connected me with the right people. So my foundation was great. Then I learned a lot in between times on how to maintain. And so now I go, and I put a picture here too, is when I want to get that crisp, clean look. I do go and I get my hair attended to, and I love my beautician to this day. She is a wonderful, wonderful person, and her and her husband, they're a duo, and he does hair as well. They do natural hair. And so it's just a beautiful thing. So, but yeah, I just love my beautician right now to this day. She just really takes really good care of my locks. And when I go to her, she knows my biggest thing is I want to updo, and I want my hair. When I get my hair done, I want my hair plaited. I want it put up in an updo. And so this last time I went to the shop, she was like, ma'am, you may have to choose another do, because your hair is getting so long that I don't know if I can keep swinging these updos. So we just kind of chuckled about it. And you know, lately here, I have been contemplating on cutting my locks back to like right here, shoulder length, and kind of cutting this portion off. And that's because I just used to do so many different styles with my hair, and I just love doing so many styles with my hair. But I love to show the professionalism that is in locks. So back to the first part of this video, I always get the question, how old are your locks? How long have you been growing your hair? And literally, you guys, I'll say 6 years, 7 years, maybe 6.5 years. So this time I went to the doctor, and they were like, how long? I said, it's been about 6.5, 7 years. And I said to myself, when I got home, I'm like, I've been saying 6 years at least for the last year or two. Like, how long is your locks? You know, how long have you been growing them? And so I went to social media to see, and it's been 8 years. So I have been locked 8 whole years. And when I tell you, I would not change it for the world. I love it. The ease of it. I don't have to worry about what I'm gonna do with my hair. I'm not dreading my hair. I'm not dreading any of that. So it's just been a blessing for me. If you guys are looking to get locks or become locked, you know, I would say make sure you do your research and make sure this is something that you want to do first. But for me, if it's a desire that you have, don't hold yourself back, because the longer you wait, child, the longer you have limiting yourself with having all of this freedom. Because when I tell you, locks for me has been freedom, and everybody has their own journey. Everybody has their own way. And so my locks now are right mid bottom, I guess you can call mid bottom length. And so I'll give you an update if I decide to color them. I've also been contemplating on dyeing my locks. I have never put color in my hair since I've been locked, any kind of permanent dyes or anything like that. And I don't know if you can tell, you could probably see in the middle here, I have tons of gray hairs coming in, and by gosh, I am not that old. Okay, I am just graying. Excuse me, I am not that old. I am just graying, I guess, a little bit early or whatnot. So I've been contemplating on possibly coloring my hair. I just, you know, I don't know. I haven't made a decision as of yet, but you know, we'll see. Maybe I'll keep it salt and pepper. I've always said since for years that once I get to where my head is fully gray, I'm going to silver it out and cut it short and wear a little short do. But hey, who knows? Who knows? I just, you know, keep going as the wind go. And so I want to show you guys something though before I leave. Like this right here, you see the end of this lock? You can tell where the lock kind of came out of that twist. You see that, like, it's twisted on the end. It's because, like, even if you two-strand twist your hair to become locked, you'll have your ends like that. I really don't like the brunt ends, see here? And like this right here, I'm anticipating this, you know, coming off, and I just pull them off. If my hair splits or breaks or gets thin at a certain point, I don't mind it. It doesn't bother me at all. I just pull it off, or I cut it off, you know. I just cut it off. See, like right here, it's a little bit, I don't know if you could tell, but it's a little bit thin compared to the other one. So if it ever got to the point where it got super thin, I would just cut it and just twist it. So I'm not hung up on stuff like that. I just keep my routine simple, and that's how I do my hair, and it relieves a whole lot. When I tell you a whole lot of stress, I don't have it. I have other stresses that I need to worry about. Hair, definitely, I don't want it to be it, and it's not it. If I want to go swimming, I go swimming, and you'll see some swimming shots in there. If I want to get up under the shower and let the water run down my hair and my locks, I do that. I'm not restricted to that. Rain doesn't bother me unless I just freshly got my hair done. Okay, because even if, like, say for instance, I went outside, it was raining and my hair got wet, I would just plait it and, you know, get my curls, my little crinkles back for the next day. So I'm not that doesn't hang me up. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Subscribe if you like what I'm putting out on this channel. If you have some suggestions for me, hey, let me know. I love suggestions. And I look forward to more videos. And you guys, I told you in the beginning, it's going to be, my channel is probably going to consist of more than cooking. I'm trying to find my way around the cooking world. You know, I'm trying to find my way. So, you know, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where it goes. So you guys take care. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye-bye.